Hey friends, how's it going? Welcome. Sorry about that. I had some issues with OBS crashing on me, so I couldn't start. Edward, good morning. So I couldn't start the stream. OBS is like the buggiest software that I've ever used. It's always a gamble. I don't know. It has some issues when since I've installed the Stream Deck plugin, which is like the software that's used to, control this little thing with the, you can focus on this, but yeah, it's like the Stream Deck. That's how I'm changing the scenes. I have like a button for each scene like this. Here's the coding, here's the chat, here's just me without the chat, So really nifty tool, cool gadget, but it crashes OBS. At least I think that's the case, because I started to experience these crashes ever since I installed it. But yeah, I guess that's that's life. I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, I did some posting on socials asking how you experience my streams. So yeah, I wanted to like take a step back and see if what we're doing here in this series is producing the most value for all of you. And I wanted to like just see how you feel about my streams, if I can make if I can make something to make them better or to produce more value. Because I feel like lately, in the past 2 or 3 episodes, things have been going pretty slow. I know we're figuring stuff out, but should I do that on stream? Should I do more of the stuff behind the camera and then just talk about what I found out, etc. So do let me know how you like the current program, how you like the current I guess pace of the live streams, because yeah, I want to make them better. Okay. All right. So hey Patrick, how's it going? So yeah, sorry, my cat is. Let's go. Let's go. You can be here. If you will be, stay quiet. Paul, how's it going? But yeah, yeah, I might cut down to. I'm thinking about cutting down to like 2 streams per week, not 3, because Fridays are usually like the slowest days. That would, give me more time to work on videos or like work on the application so that I can update all of you on Monday. First time chatter here, you're a real inspiration. Please keep it as it is. That's the consensus, not gonna lie. And thank you, Foxbit. Yeah, people have been saying that they like my streams, so yeah, I guess we'll keep them. I would just cut down on instead of 3 days a week, maybe we'll do like 2 days. We'll drop Friday, because probably of the time difference, and because it's Friday. Some of the people are already starting their weekend and usually are not tuning into my live stream, so might as well take Friday off. I don't know, work on some stuff so I can like update everyone on Monday. I also thought maybe we should not do just this, but like more activities. For example, Avi suggested we do some code reviews, some news, that happened throughout the week, etc. But yeah, here's what we are going to do. I'm going to go to Discord. And if you haven't joined already, yeah, just go to creatures.sh and join my Discord. And I'm going to create a little forum here. Where shall we put it? Community, I guess. Yeah. Let me just grab this real quick. Yeah, let's do this live so that we can have something, you know, have a forum that where we can just chat. And this is going to be the Evie, how's it going? This is gonna be the stream topics, right? Stream topics. Let's create the forum here. I'm gonna put it at the top. Yes, please, let's do that. Oh my god. Show all servers, where is that? Show all channels. Wish there was a search in this. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Show all. Where is that? Show all channels. In your server menu, you can rent. Where is that? Oh, there we go. Actually, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So community. I'm gonna put this at the pretty much at the top here. Okay. There we go. So, if you've joined in Discord, I'm gonna create a post guideline. But basically, what we want to do here is just, you know, have a forum where we add some interesting links, you know, add some topics, links, tools, libraries, just, you know, whatever's fun to you as an individual, you share it here, and then we can, you know, check it out on stream, while, you know, aside from also doing like the coding on the project, etc. Just so we're not doing, you know, only this, just so, you know, we have some fun, because that's the point, right? All right, but yeah, yeah, do check it out. Let me actually drop a link here of the Discord server. Do check it out. I think it's going to be pretty cool if, you know, we have like a forum going on, and we do like upvotes, and I don't know, we take the top 3 posts. We'll have like a community segment during the live streams where we take the top 3 most voted posts, and we talk about them, you know. Yeah, let's try to do that, slow by slow, step by step. But yeah, back to code. All right, so streaming nodes. What I did, let's see, next stream, build a repository, build the entity and model mapper, update the command once we have the repository, update the tests as well, because we're gonna need to inject the mock repository there, and also create a mock repository. I also did some coding in terms of the migrations. So Django needs a direct access to models, either models .py or keep models at root. The optimum is models.py at the root that reports nested, re-exports nested models. So that is awful, but we had to go with that. And let me actually show you. We worked on the skill domain, on the skill application, and we actually created the skill model. And the issue was that just by creating the model like this, let me see the font size, just by creating the model, we don't Django doesn't discover it, and when we ran migrations, it's just like, nope, I'm not gonna run any migrations. Just run Docker. So that was an issue. How is that possible now? 5, 4, 3, 2. Which one is which one is it now? This keeps happening. But yeah, basically when we ran, actually, hold on, I need to fix this. Let me go and see in Docker. If we have container. See, so there's no containers. But apparently we have a process on that port. Address already in use, and I keep doing that. Okay, so let's see. Kill port 5432 and Docker compose up again. Of course not. I need to see what this is. I need to see what this is. But basically, I'm just gonna change 5433 and we'll just have to live with that. There we go. And now if I do, I'm gonna change into apps API. I'm gonna source virtual environment bin activate. There we go. So now if I do python manage.py make migrations, boom, something happens. Hold on, let me actually demonstrate this properly because I actually have the fix in there. I'm just gonna remove this or just like rename it so it's not discoverable. That's good. Okay, so check this out. No module name user. I should not have a. Shouldn't have any more models, to be honest. Where is that user? All right, there we go. Actually, I'm gonna delete this because we don't even have a repository, to be honest. Okay, so make migrations. There's always something, right? Authentication, presentation. Their users. Register. Oh, there we go. We actually do have the repository. Well, then what is going on? I'm gonna remove this. I'm going to user profile. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this one as well because there shouldn't be any migrations there. And this is all in the user. Okay, I should be good now. No, of course we're not. Course. Should have come more prepared. So I removed the user and actually renamed it to user profile because that is the issue. Now probably this means that we need to update some. This one's deleted. These are all deleted. The user profile has this. Okay, so there shouldn't be any issues then. I don't see where the use. Where's the error? No module name user. Ah, yeah, there we go. And this is in the virtual environment. Actually, no, it's in the URLs. Okay, bear with me. URLs. Yeah, there we go. This is the issue here. I'm just going to comment these out and we're going to enable them as we go. Okay, so only skills should be there. Okay, good. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and delete the migrations. And I'm gonna run this again. Or I should not delete my whole folder, but actually just the migrations. And I'm gonna open Beekeeper. And now we change this to the other ports. I need to save it, connect it again. Okay. Now we have the migrations. We need to update the environment variables. It should be 3. And also in the .env should be 3. Now if I do make migrations, says no changes detected, right? Even though we have an actual model. Here it is. And this happens because Django cannot discover this file. So one thing that the internet suggested we do was to add the, what was it, models module, basically point Django, when you register this application, point Django to the module where you keep the models. And I just did skill infra database dot models, and inside all of the Python files contain models, right? And then we came back, make migrations, no changes detected. So this doesn't work. There was another ready method here where we actually did import skill.database.models.skill, for example, and when we did make migrations, it actually discovered them. So when you import that file, Django is like, oh, this is a model file, I'm gonna create a migration now, right? We also don't want to do this. What if we have like a lot of models? We don't want to do that, right? It works, it tells us that it's like a discoverability issue, but we don't want to do that again. So one thing that is happening is that Django, for every application, has, looks out for a models.py file like this. And I hate to do this, but this is the only way that it works, Create that models.py so Django knows about it, and basically import all of the models from the module that you keep them in, right? And in this case, it's the infra database models. Inside of the models, keep an init.py file, which is, indicates to Python that this is a module, but re-exports all of the models inside. So this is basically like a barrel file in JavaScript, right? So the barrel file just, gathers all of the models and re-exports them all like this. The models.py points to it and just imports all of the exported models. And models.py is a file well known by Django, so Django gets in here, it gets into the barrel file, and then it discovers all of the models. I don't like to have my models.py at the root of the application. I want to keep that in the infrastructure, right? We don't care about database stuff here at the root. There is a specific folder for that, right? It's the infra/database. So yeah, we have to do that. Patrick says, with this barrel file, can you use models underscore module in the app config, or was it already there? What do you mean? Can I use the models underscore module in app config? Or maybe we could do that. If we can, I don't know. I added it and then I removed it. So apps.py, we don't have that there. You think like we can define it here and then export or like try to access it from the modules.py or from the barrel file? For some reason it didn't work. Read-only property from the Django docs. So we can't really set it, right? Okay. But yeah, I tried to work around the whole models module. No luck. And I feel like the it's not clean, but the cleanest solution is to keep models.py because Django wants, models.py, and then just, re-export everything from the models module, which is, yeah, in this case skill. In the other cases, like the user profile, we're gonna have a user profile, certification, etc., etc. Hey, Srivasu. Well, I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining. But yeah, that's basically. I played around. I think I fixed this on Saturday. I figured out, this is something that we have to live with. So yeah, not cool, but what can we do? What can we do? All right, what do we have here? I'm just gonna apply the migrations now. Create model skill, and now I can just say migrate. There we go. So if I refresh this, there's our skill table. Right, so that's the connection. We have to basically say, okay, here's, really point to the model. Look at here. This is where the model is. So yeah. Srivasu, as a quick comment to the post you put out, I would suggest you continue like this. It's really interesting to see you work through the problems live. Feels like I'm pair programming. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, people appreciate that, me getting stuck and trying to unstuck myself. Yeah, it's like the anti-tutorial. I'm not telling you how. I'm telling you, let's try it this way and see what happens. Yeah, thanks for the feedback though. Yeah, we are gonna continue like this. We might just like take breaks and do something else. But yeah. All right, so here's that fix from last stream. Finally, it's done. And what else? I'm going to remove this because it's only the auto-generated date at the top. That's constant. And I think everything else. This is okay. This is okay. The whole user. I'm not pushing this because not yet. And I'm gonna push the .env. I guess we should always be using different ports, not the default ones, because yeah, some applications do use Postgres, like the DaVinci project. I think I removed it, but yeah, there was like a project server that came with DaVinci Resolve. That one used Postgres on the default port, so when that one is on, which is always on, I can't really use 5432. So I guess we'll just have to, use different ports than the default ones. All right, so commenting URLs plus PGSQL port change. Yeah. And in the meantime, I started to work on the user profile. So let's actually bring this up. Eraser. Get it over here. Share it with the chat. Nice. Okay, so I started to work on the user profile aggregate root. This used to be the user, by the way, the user aggregate roots, and we had the user profile entity and also the resume ID. And I thought, you know what, we don't actually need to have like 3 levels. This can just be the user profile. We can modify Django's user, and we will. The only thing that we need to add here is just a single. And make some space here. We're gonna add just a single user ID. Like this. And this will point to the Django user. Okay, yeah, we have a user profile. That profile is tied to a specific user in the database that is created by Django. So this is how we're going to use this. One level, less. So yeah, we only need the positions as like the entities. In this case, we'll figure out the certifications, educational activities, etc., etc. So this is what we're going to work on today. Let's see. I do have some other notes as well. Oh yeah. Do you folks know this guy? Let me show it to you. Scroll, scroll, scroll. This guy. So, Web Dev Cody is a really cool channel. Cody is an amazing person, and he actually
There's a decent
mentioned
amount here. If I
my channel in his video, and I gained a whole lot of subscribers. Really cool. You should watch this. It's really nice. So there's a link. Thank you, Cody, publicly for mentioning my channel, and yeah, appreciate you. So that thing happened as well. I was really excited about it. And I was also looking at composite types in PostgreSQL and how to integrate it in Django, but we're going to get to that point when I'm gonna show you some code, some new code that I wrote. Thank you, Srivasu. Yeah, amazing. All right, so I started working on the, let me just close all of these. I started working on the user profile root. Added the models here as well. As you can see, basically just scaffolded a whole Django application here. I have nothing in the models, nothing in the migrations. It's basically the whole structure is in place. Aside from the domain, I actually do have something here. So here's the aggregate roots. The user profile has a list of skills, and these are going to be a list of IDs because all of the root aggregates or aggregate roots, all of the aggregate roots, they have an ID, right? So skill ID is going to be here. We're going to create the same for the resume ID, for the user ID, might as well here, you know, resumes and actually user ID. We can like say this is the user ID. We'll see if it's like an ID. I think it's going to be, but yeah. And we also hold a list of certifications, and I need to finish working on these two value objects as well. There we go. So this is the aggregate roots. Inside of the certifications, I did some changes. I also updated the skill one. We are extended from data class. In this case, we set the frozen to true because we want value objects to be immutable. That means once we create them, we can't update them, right? Value objects should be immutable, and that is a rule in domain-driven design. You can't update value objects. You just need to create a new instance with the updated data, right? We set the unsafe hash to false because this basically means do not overwrite. Data class should not overwrite the hash method. We bring our own, and also the EQ is false. Same for the equality operator, right? For the equality method, we'll bring our own. So no hash and equality. That's our custom implementation, and freeze this data class. So once we create it, we can actually update, you know, the properties. So when I did this, frozen set to true, of course, I couldn't change any of these, right? And because it's a data class, we can instantiate it with keywords, and that means all of the update methods need to do something else now. So check this out. Change name. First we validate it, and then we create a new instance and we pass the name. And create new instance is actually a class inside of the base value objects class, which is also frozen. And what this does is just it gets all of the current values, basically the field.name that's returned from the getAttributes method. It's actually passed in the getAttribute method, we jump or walk through the fields of the class, not the value object, but the other one. And for every field, we actually do the get attributes, field.name, and that's it. These are all of the current values. It's like a dictionary. And then the updated ones is we spread. I'm not sure if this is called a spread, but it looks like a spread to me, or it functions probably like a spread. So we create a new dictionary. We spread out the current values, and then on top of them, we spread out any changes, which are basically coming from the arguments here, right? And this is the new updated values with the old and the new, and we just instantiate the self class with the new values. I haven't tested this, by the way. I haven't tested this. This is all AI. We're yet to actually see if it works, but the unit tests are passing, so it probably works, right? So change name, we validate first. Of course, this is it's a static method. It just checks if the string is empty, or if it's not a string as well. We just raise an error. So validation happens here, and also we return a new instance. Same for the organization, same for the issue data, same from basically all of these, right? We have a validate date, validate not empty or string, and yeah, those kinds of validation arguments here, methods. So this is basically how our new value objects look like, right? I also added a new property for the certification, if it's expired or not, and it's just basically if there is an expiration date, and if this should be like the other way, right? Actually, no, it's all right. And if today is greater than the expiration date, that means the certificate is expired. Cool. I'm not gonna keep this in the database. We can just calculate it on the fly. Nice. So that's the new updated look of the value objects since, for example, since Friday's stream. And I also created one for the educational activity. As you can see, it's over here. Same, literally the same. Just list out the properties, list out their change methods, apply the validation and stuff like that. Also for the social links, just label and URL. We're not gonna keep anything else for now. And I already have these. That means I can go into the aggregate root and change them. Educational activities. There it is. And one more. Social links. There we go. Let's actually organize these imports, and we're happy now. Cool. So the user profile aggregate root holds references to all of the, first and foremost, to the user, right? What is this user that this profile belongs to? And what skills does this user possess? What are the resumes that the user has generated? Certifications, educational activities, social links, etc. Hey Dunk, how's it going? Right, so this is the root aggregate, and what we need to do now is, I guess, connect the dots, right? We started to work on the user profile. We did some work on the skill. I thought that it was going to be simpler, but I think, at least in my mind, I think we should go with the users. Why? Because we are going to have, that's like the entry point, right? When we register, we have a user. We don't have anything else. And we can actually, link stuff and test them out properly, etc. So we're going to circle back to the skill, but yeah, this is the user profile. I want to connect the user profile with Django's user so we can have a login, and that user will have a profile which will also have a bunch of, skills, which we already have. So there's a lot of witches, but yeah, I feel like we should actually go from this the entry point. At least that's like it feels more natural to me. It feels more natural to me because it's, I guess, how my brain works. Like, we're building this application, we start with the users, we build the user as like the center, and then we attach stuff to it. Hope you understand me. But yeah, cool. So basically the aggregate has all of the value objects here except for the position. We need the entity for the position, and it's going to be a nested entity. And yeah, cool, we're going to get to that, but I want to tell you about composite types in Django. Composite types Django. All right, so this is I started thinking about composite types when I was thinking about how are we going to save, the certifications and the educational activities, because look at them. They're basically, let's go to the certification. This is a class that doesn't have an ID, right? But it has multiple fields. Which is, of course, it's normal for value objects because that's what value objects are, right? They're separate classes that hold, a group of properties that describe something. Just came to say I really appreciate what you're doing for the developer community. We need more clean code advocates like you to combat the gibberish AI-generated code craze. Appreciate you, Dunk. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah. But yeah, value objects, right? They hold properties that describe something, in this case, certification. We need to keep this in the database. How do we keep value objects that are, attached to a specific entity in the database? So there are two ways. One way is we have all of these. We can put them in the database and we can prefix them with the entity name or the value object name, like certification underscore name, certification underscore organization. So they will be kept within the entity because we're gonna have a table for the entity, and the certification is basically just a subgroup of all of the fields that the entity has. So that's one way. The idea with that is that our tables are going to have a lot of, they're going to have a lot of properties. And if we want to, the pros is we don't need a separate table. The cons is we're going to have a lot of data. So when we want to pull a user profile, not necessarily with all of its certifications, we don't have a choice. We're going to pull all the certifications. And we're going to pull all of the stuff. And this is only for non-list types. And I use the bad one because certification is a list. In that case, we can't really, attach it to the table or to the entity table itself. We need to do something else. And that else is we got to have a different table, right? There's no third option there. I mean, maybe a JSON field inside of the, inside of the entity table. But I don't know. It just feels, I don't know. It's JSON, it's not searchable, right? So I decided to go with a different table. So we are going to create models for the certifications as well. But because value objects don't have an ID, we need to have a composite primary key, right? Which is going to be the user ID and also the name. And that's when the composite types in Django, I think, come in. For the organization, will it be a free string value of, or you choose in a list? I guess it's going to be like a free string unless, until we build up common lists of organizations or known organizations. I don't know. We can like start with just a plain list and try to, try to consolidate later on. But yeah, composite types, yeah, they're like they're not connected to different tables. They're like a type where we can use within a table. So check this out. we have a table store ID and name. We have a table default opening hours for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we don't want to these fields, we want the value to be something else other than like a primitive value. So that's when that's the composite type. This is a type in Postgres opening hours, which we can define a specific shape. It has a start and it has a length, and these are primitives. And we can use this type, damn it, we can use this type here as like types of properties, right? So this is something that's the first option of certification, of saving the certification in a database comes in. Like, certification can be a composite type that has all of these primitive properties, right? This is going to be a string. So we can have that, and we can have a list of arrays of types, right? I'm not sure how that's going to look like in the database. So this is something that I haven't tried, but it looks like that we can actually try it out maybe. It's still in the same table. It defines a specific shape of data as a type in Postgres, which we can use like this, right? And then we can apply it like this. Like, here's the store name, and then we can apply an array of these data types, which is of the opening hours, or in this case, or in our case, it's going to be certifications, right? So when we create a user profile, we can add an array of certifications inside with all of their fields. This is going to keep everything in one table. See, it's the store table that keeps an array of opening hours, which is also of that, composite type. So I don't know. A separate table makes sense. I haven't tried this, but it looks like it's, could be also interesting to see. But yeah, once we create a type, we need to register that composites opening hours, and we can get the type out. Once we get the type out, we can actually use it in Django. Yeah. And the as is from the PsychoPG extensions. Basically, here's the SQL for defining the opening hours, and we're returning it as is. That's it. This is how we can integrate this in Django. So let me know, should we create just a plain and simple separate table for the certification, and just keep composite primary key? And I think Evie shared that there's going to be composite primary keys. Oh no, it was Patrick. In the next version of Django, which means we might not have composite primary keys right now. If you don't know what a composite primary key is, for the primary key, you usually have an ID, but because we don't have an ID, we can have the name and the user ID as both of those fields as our primary key. So this certification will be unique, right? A user with more certifications, only part of those primary keys will be on the same user ID, but the name will differ. So that's it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What should we do? Should we go with the type and keep everything in one table, or should we go with a composite primary key that we can basically just keep it as a string? It's not optional. I mean, it's not optimal in this case because Django doesn't support it natively yet. It will in near future, I hope. But that's those are the two options. Yeah, let me know what you think. But this is where we are right now. I guess I do want to try this because it does involve some SQL as well. We just have to be mindful of the performance issues that we can hit, once we have these separate types. Because if they sit in the same store table and we want to, get the store, if everything is part of the same table, we're going to pull the whole user profile without necessarily, splitting between the, or like just give me the user profile on the user ID and, for example, the skills. I just need those. I don't need the positions. I don't need the certifications, etc. Right? But that's like if we do select everything. Well, I guess there is a way around this then. We're just not going to return all the data. Right? Yeah. Okay, since chat is silent, I'm actually gonna go and implement the composite types. I like it because it's a mixture of SQL, plain native SQL, that we can most likely create an empty migration for that. And then we're going to create the type inside. So when we apply this, the type will be created. And then we're going to register, after that, we're going to register that composite to the database. So this is going to be pretty fun. All right, so let me write it down that we are making that, decision. Yeah. Composite types over separate tables. Let's see if we, shoot ourselves in the foot by creating like, I don't know, super tables. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I haven't tried. The best way to find out is to actually just do it. All right, so that's official. We are gonna try to do composite types in SQL. And cool. Yeah, those are the notes. I guess we can like start with what? We have the value objects. I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit overwhelming. Maybe I started this on the wrong way, but we will get there. So far we have the aggregate root. We don't have any database related stuff. We want to connect the user profile with an actual user from Django, but the actual user from Django keeps a user ID, it keeps a username, and I'm not sure if we want to extend it, because if we do, that's a different tutorial to follow. Let's do some reading. Django custom user. Yeah, if we want to customize the user, we were reading about this in one of the previous episodes. If you want to extend the existing user, there was like modify the user or extend the user. If you want to extend it, there's like two types. If you want to extend it without substitute, that means we're gonna have a proxy model that's based on the user, and it just holds a reference to the user, right? Which is something that I kinda drew here. We have a user profile and a user ID, right? This is a proxy. This is going to be a proxy user. We keep the original user, but we have the additional data here. Unless you want to log in with an email, right? Because right now the Django user, the default one, claims that the user there is a username and users should use the username. If you want to change that, we need to substitute our user model, not extend it. Yeah, for on sites that it makes more sense to use an email address as your identification token instead of the username. And that's one thing, but there was also another thing where I think it was the Django REST framework simple JVT. This one was also, I think there was like a field that we can check, that we can change. There we go, token user class maybe? No. Like instead of, just like use the email instead of the username. It was possible. It was possible. Let me just see. In Django, with Django REST framework and simple JVT, how can we change the identification token to be the email instead of the user name? You cannot just keep the user ID to link the user from Django to the clean user. No, we can keep that. Ah, damn it. This keeps happening. So I'm gonna copy the question and just like paste it again. All right, let's see. No, we can keep it. I think the idea is like if we want to change the behavior of the main user, we need to substitute it. If not, we can just create that. We can just create that proxy model. And let's see. Let's see what the robot says. By the way, I'm using Avante now instead of Copilot Chat. It's still Copilot, but this plugin for NeoVim allows me to also, use it like cursor. Like for example, if I tell it to change something here, it can apply this as like a git diff, and I can then pick if I want to use the AI generated code or my code. I can show it to you later. It's really cool. All right, to change the identification token to use the email instead of the username in Django with the DRF and simple JVT, you need to customize the token payload and the authentication backends. Okay. We need to override the default token payload to include the email instead of the username because that's the default. And I'll update the authentication backend to use the email for authentication. Okay. So this apparently is the custom token. We add the email to it. And we also need to, here's the custom token here, and then here's the email backend. We basically need to provide our own email backend, which does something like this. Yeah, it's basically just plain email. We get the username and password. Well, the username is going to get, oh no, actually. We obtain the email from the keyword arguments. We try to get the user based on the username, which is going to be the email in this case. Yeah. If we have it, we're gonna try to, actually, if the username is none. Otherwise, we're just going to check for the user and return this. Okay, I guess that's it then. Doesn't look correct though. Shouldn't this be like indented inside? Try except else. Is this like a valid Python syntax? Try else. Is else like finally? And then update the login view. And it just needs to point to the serializer class. Okay, so, that doesn't look simple enough. Man, I wish it was simpler. I think I've seen something. Well, let's see, Django, use email instead of username. I think I've seen something. Custom user model. Auth user model, custom user. And then here's the custom user then. And if we do that, we most likely need to create our own login. We already have our login. So if we change one thing, I guess we're gonna have to create all the API as well, right? Oh, okay. Well, look at that. Django all auth. Well, better approach is to use the current default for many professionals is to use the Django all auth package. So I guess this is it then, yeah? We install Django all auth. We add all of these, the three applications. We add the authentication backend that comes with all auth, which should work with simple JWT as well. And here it is. The email required is true, username required is false. So I guess, yeah, authentication method is email. Once we do migrates, we all just need to all out the URLs. Well, in our case, the URLs does not come. The URLs come from the simple JWT. So I guess this is not applicable then, right? Damn it. Email instead of username. It's probably gonna say option 3, your implementation might therefore give you issues. Use the filter to match the emails. Okay, so apparently there is no, doesn't seem like there is a oh, look at this. You can specify the identifying claim and the added data in your settings pie to use email as well. This will make your front-end app use the email for the claim as well instead of the default user ID. If you can guarantee uniqueness, you're all set. And it simply works. I guess it should work, right? This is what the robot is also suggesting us we do. Yeah. This is for the token, but that's basically for the login. Yeah. Yeah, I guess this would be the simplest way. So we can use the email as a login. We get to keep the original user model, so we're not going to substitute it. And we will just have like a user profile that points to a specific user, and we're gonna work with that one instead, you know, instead of changing the whole user model. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be complicated if we change the whole user model. Maybe like down the road, other Django, you know, packages and libraries, they work on top of the existing users. So it's better if, you know, we keep it in its original form and just do this for login. Yeah. All right, so let's do that then. We're gonna change the login just so we don't need to change the user, and then the user profile points to the user, and we're all set. Basically, that part of the application will be connected. All right, so let's go and create a serializer then. That's in the user profile. We shouldn't be here. We should be in authentication. I'm gonna close all the buffers. So now here, There we are. Instead of token obtain pair view, we need these two. And this is the view. It just has a points to a serializer class. Yeah. Serializers, and I'm going to say email serializer dot py. In this case, I'm just gonna grab this whole block, and then we'll see. Then we'll see what happens. User comes from the Django user, and also refresh token comes from there. There's gonna be an issue with this, and I had the same issue when doing the register stuff. So check this out. Create for user. And I had to do type ignore. See? Because it says access token is not part of refresh. So type ignore. These are just bad types, but it works. So yeah. There's our refresh and access. And hold on a second. We actually do have this. This is it from the token service. Yeah. Why do we need this? We don't actually need this. Oh, it does some validation as well, and then we do the get token, which is again the same thing. And then we return this data. Yeah, literally the same thing. Okay. I'm gonna reuse this. Okay. I need to update my theme because you can't really read the suggestions here. There we go. So instead of doing this, all we need to do is just invoke the create for user because we already have the user. So here I'm going to say all right, data tokens token service create for user, and then we pass in a user, which is what's self.user. And then we have the tokens here, and we use it like this. Tokens refresh, and then tokens access with the same keys. And then we return the data. Okay, it's looking good. Now this is not being used anywhere, so I'm just gonna like remove it. There we go. Here's our custom token obtain pair serializer, right? So it's done. Once this is done, we need to create a new view for the login, and all we need to do is just point that to the serializer class. There's no logic involved, it's just that. So I'm gonna do sign in.py because we also did sign in, sign out, etc. Yeah, it's going to be the sign in. sign in, and it's going to inherit from the token obtained per view. Serializer class is going to be the custom token obtained per view serializer. And we need to just import token obtained per view. REST framework. There we go. There's a sign in. I'm also going to rename register to sign up, so we have consistency. And here, instead of sign in, and the sign in is not this one, but it's going to be sign in as view. That's it. There's a sign in. Sign out is the same. Sign up is our custom one, and this is going to rename the same. Yeah. Token refresh view is from the library itself, but the sign in or token, that's going to be the one that we created. Nice. I'm going to delete this, and now we should actually be able to log in with the email instead of the, instead of the, let's see, no migrations. The Docker should be running. Yeah. Let's try. Let's see. So here's how we signed in with the username stream, but this user should have an email. Yeah, we don't have any data actually. So sign up. Oh yeah, there we go. It says just username and password. We need an email as well. And we can say the username is going to be the email. Right? Hold on a second. That's actually ours. So in the sign up, username and password. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say email instead of. There we go. It's gonna be email and passwords. The authentication command is going to receive an email instead of a username. There's the email, create. So now we also need to update this. Okay. Find user. It's not going to be username. It's going to be email. It's not going to be get. It's going to be filter. I think. Okay. Let's try the robot. We're changing from username to email in Django. Should I use user objects filter or user objects find to find a user by email? Let's see. I think there was like a in Django, the user filter method is used to retrieve a query set of users that match the given criteria, while the get is used to retrieve a single user. So I guess we should use the get. Okay. Thank you. I'm just gonna change the field basically. And create is going to be an email here. The username is going to be an email, and then email is going to be an email. So we're going to create the user and it's gonna have like the username and the email is gonna be like the same value basically. So even if we want to do like give me by user name, still gonna be the same, you know. Okay, so repository is clean. It should work. Find and create, even though we passed the email, doesn't matter. And now here, it doesn't actually matter, I think. Even if it does, the username is gonna be an email. Yeah. And the custom serializer, let's see. We won't pass a username. We're gonna pass an email. And let's see. I'm gonna say hello at nikoloflazar.com and passwords. This is running. This is running. So if I just hit sign up, doesn't want to. What's wrong? Oh, of course it's not running. Instead of make migration, I need to do run server. $8,000. There we go. So we have our refresh, we have our access here. Okay. And let me actually go take a look at the token itself to see if anything has changed. No, there's still a user ID. And you know, we're the first user here. But that's fine. If you want to have that as part of the refresh token, we need to also update the serializer for the token itself. But if I look at the database and just refresh it, we're going to have a username hello@nikoloflazar.com and email hello@nikoloflazar.com, right? So sign up works. If I go back here, I'm going to pass in an email hello@nikoloflazar.com. Internal server error. Why? Init got an unexpected keyword arguments. Ooh. Unexpected keyword argument data. Okay. That would be here actually. Init. Oh. What if we just print it out? Let's see. Now there's context as well. Would you look at that? So cannot call is valid as no data keyword argument was passed when instantiating the serializer. Okay, so in this case, I probably should just do this. Just get the keyword arguments, and all we need to do is just like call super. You know, init, yeah, with the keyword arguments. And then instantiate the token. Okay, let's see. No active account found with the given credentials. Interesting. No active account found with the given credentials. What if this is a username instead? Email field is required. Okay. Okay. So it wasn't so clear after all. I'm gonna run this. And debug this. Or not. What was that? Let me just open vim in here. I guess launch Django. Okay. I'm gonna try to log in again. And now we're here. Let's look at the keyword arguments. This is what we get. We have a data, keyword argument, and context. Okay, that's good. Email and password. So we do that. Is go to validate. The attributes have an email and passwords. Okay, that's good. And then we call this, and I guess this is the function that will, there we go, yeah. That's the function that breaks super.validate. Yeah. That's weird. We do have username and also email. What if I don't... What if I just like pass here? What's gonna happen? And just like try to find the... You know, try to log in basically with the username field, even though we're sending an email. I guess that's gonna fail. But let's just try. No, now it's, of course, now it's bad requests. I'll try it now. Oh, no, now it passes, you see? Self.user apparently exists. Yes, it does. Email field, username field is username. You see that? Okay, so we need this. And if we want to pass in an email, which we do, we don't want to have a... Hold on, I need to rerun the debug session. This is the only thing here. Attributes is email and passwords. Let me get into the validate then. I'm gonna create a breakpoint here and let's see. Self.username field is email. Attributes self.username field. That's the authentication keyword argument. Email and passwords. Okay. That's it, email and password. Okay, so self.user is authenticated. We need to get into this one. Now for every backend, this is going to be the model backend. Yeah. Credentials are still email and password. Backend signature dot bind. Then we're going to try to authenticate. Of course, we need to get into the... So let's step in. Step into his eye. There's the model backend authenticate. Well, look at that then. You see the model backend? There's the issue. If the username is none, it is none. because we're sending the email, not the username, right? It's going to try to get that from the keyword arguments, which contain email. But the user model points to the username field, which is email. So, yeah, this is where it fails. Right? Yeah, it's not gonna continue with the authentication. So it's going to return, it's going to continue, or at least in this backend, and there's no other backend except for this one, and it's just gonna say user login failed because we didn't return a user. Okay, we found the issue. We need a different, we need to register, I guess, a different model backend. Yeah. There we go, authentication failed, no active account. That's the error message. And we get this back, no active account found with the given credentials. So it's not enough. It's not enough, we actually need a different backend. Okay. We actually need a different backend. Yeah, that's it. Email model backend, and we need to extend this to like the model backend. So I guess we can do that and then just override the user models user field or username fields, basically. I'm actually gonna go .env in the, I'm gonna go in Django. There's Django, contrib, auth, and backends. Just so I can see, there's the model backends. User model dot username field. How do we change that? This is the built-in model backend in Django. How do we override the user model username field to point to email instead of username? Because if we manage to do that, that's going to be like that's going to be the solution, basically. Okay, let me make some room now. Custom user. No. We don't want to do that. You need to create a custom user model and set the username field to attribute to email. No, there has to be like a settings that we can override. Don't want to do this because if we do this, then we're substituting the user. We simply wanted to extend it, but use the email. So I guess that's the. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good solution, to be honest. Hmm. Yeah. Custom token obtained per serializer. We actually did that, but it's not. There's the username field, but that's for the token. But the model backend needs to points to the the username, not the email one. I guess we can just like do this then, right? Now we can extend from abstract user and we don't need to implement any logic. We can just say username field is email and that's it. And what did the robot say, by the way? The robot suggested that we implement all of these things. Abstract base user. And this answer, I think it was pretty much the same as the. Yeah, it's abstract user. There's the abstract user. So yeah, I guess we can just say. I guess we can do this then. But if we do that, then we don't need to do this then, right? Let's see. just gonna grab this. There we go. And I'm going to say username fields is going to be the email. Email field is going to be email. And required fields is going to be email. And we're not gonna pass. There's the. So now I also need to register this, but there was also something else with the authentication as well. So in Django admin.py, just copy this block right here and register it. There we go. And we also need to go to the settings.py, change the auth user model after you've created the database tables is possible, but it can be complex. Auth user model. Project starts, and this model and the model it refers to must be available in the first migration of the app that it lives in. Okay? Auth user model. In that case, where are we here? Do we have it? User, no. Okay then, auth user model. It's probably going to be a string, and it will point to authentication infra database models.py. Oh, not .py. I'm actually going to say user underscore model, or just model. So let's go in the database and just do yep. Go back to admin because we broke it. There we go. So now we need to make migrations. We can't. Oh, okay. User. App label model name. Oh, like without these things. Authentication.user, probably. But in that case, has that been initialized? Of course. In that case, we're gonna need to have a models.py. Again, you know, same trick that I mentioned before. And then do from .infra.database.model imports user. Ignore the type, or actually it wasn't like this, it was like disable. Okay, let's try it now. Oh, application is not installed. Well, that's correct then. Authentication infra Django apps config. Okay, let's try now. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is good. This is good. So we gotta go into database model, and required fields should not be email. You should remove email from the required fields. Yeah. And it should just say username, most likely. User email must be unique because it is named as username fields. Okay, then I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna give that to the robot. To ensure that the email field is unique, you need to add the unique true attribute to the email field in your custom user. I don't even have a... Yeah, okay, let's do that then. From django.db import models, email imports. Email is models.email field, and we'll pass in unique is true. Okay. All right, so it says no changes detected. Is it though? From this imports, why don't we just do the same trick like we did with the skill? I'm gonna copy models. I'm gonna delete this one actually, and then copy it. I will paste it here. We don't need the tests. And this says models, of course. And I'm gonna rename this to user. Cut it out, put it into models. And models should have the init, just too long. The init inside, and it should just be user, like this and like this. There we go. Okay, so can we make migrations? No migration detected. Well, that's weird. I guess it should have been. Guess it should have been detected because we have it here. Well, it's an abstract user, which is abstract base user, which is the model itself. I guess we need to delete all of the migrations then. Yeah, let's actually do that, and because it did mention that migrations, the user should be the first migration. So I'm gonna go into Docker. Where is it? And I'm going to delete the volume. Yeah, hold on. Should I go back here? Docker compose down. And now I'm just going to delete the whole volume so the database is recreated. Docker compose up. There we go. And now if I do make migrations, first and foremost, skill should be picked up. All of the default Django stuff should be picked up. There we go. And I can just do either make migrations or I can just do this. Oh, look at that. Connection refused. That's weird. Oh, okay. I think I know what it is. In the compose file, I set this to 5433. I think it should be just 2. Yeah, that one should be 2. Let's try that again. Docker compose up. There we go. Okay, so all the auth stuff have been applied. Nice. And now I can even go here and do just migrate. Nope. Relation authentication underscore user does not exist. Why? How? Maybe I should do make migrations first. Nope. All right, Django is not cool. Django is so not cool. Authentication underscore user does not. Where is that relation even defined? Feels to me like this is the user model that we just override. Okay, is it because of this then? But if we do this, then that has not been initialized. Authentication.user. And now the authentication underscore user does not exist. It's just auth underscore user. That's the table. Okay, so I guess we need to go into the user here and override the meta class table name in this user model. I think it was through the meta class. Yeah. There we go. All right, so we can actually do this now. I can hit A to apply this AI generated block. It'll show up like this and move my cursor here. And here's ours, here's theirs. And I can just do CC. And there it is. See, it's like cursor, but it's NeoVim. Okay, so let's see now. Class meta overrides the symbol, but it's not assignable. Oh, look at that. Is it because we're jumping through one more? Well, in this case, it's still an issue, so I guess, yeah, I guess it's just a type issue then. Should be auth underscore user, because that's the one from Django, not authentication, because authentication is derived from our application name. In this case, we just want this to be auth. Okay, so migrate. There we go. You see that? All right, started to understand. If we do make migrations though, nothing to apply. Okay, good to know. Then we have the skill and the token blacklist. Nice. Okay, so there's our user, right? Everything else stays the same. I'm gonna go and run. Woohoo! John, how's it going? Manage.py, run server. Now I'm gonna try to log in. Actually, we do have a user. No, we don't have a user, so we need to register first. Register. something happened. Would you look at that? What happened? It's just internal server. Coffee. That is how it's going. Nice. Alright, so let's see. This is throwing an error. Email and passwords. Okay. Time to debug it then. Launch Django. There we go. Sign up. Okay, so first try to find a user with this email. Oh, that's where it fails. Right? Let's try that again. Best error, yeah. There's the user.objects.get, and then inside we should be passing the email, which is, yeah. Oh, there's no exception in this case. I'm just gonna print whoa and the error inside. Error is not defined. Is it exception? Yeah. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, not right now. We're trying to register the user. What is that? This should have been returns none, but there's no error. I mean, it says internal server error, and it just fails here. Do not use bear except, I don't care. Oh, hold on a sec. Hold on a second. I needed to restart the session. Damn it. Okay. Now we're going to hit this breakpoint and we're going to see what the error is. There's one, there's two. This is going to, not in this one, but this one. Yes. And E stands for attribute error. Manager isn't available. Auth user has been swapped for authentication user. It says manager isn't available. Would you look at that? Look at the code base. When trying to obtain the user, I get an error, manager not available, user model has been swapped. How do I fix this? The error occurs when the user model has been swapped with a custom user model, and you need to import and use the custom user model instead of the default Django user. There we go. To fix this, you need to actually use the user that comes not from here, but our own user, which comes from auth here. There it is. Now there's no create user now. You see that? Should be just create, I guess. There's a username, there's the email, there's the password. Okay. Yeah. Let me diff this hunk and see from Django contrib auth models. So I can do grep, and there we go. We should also change it here as well. So this should be from authentication infra database models import user, and now organize these. There we go. So from Django contrib that's the user admin. That's okay, I guess. That's the abstract user inside of the user, and yeah, that's about it. So now we actually should, you know, we should be able to log in, I think. I'm gonna put a breakpoint here and relaunch the debug session and try to register again. We should be past this point. Does not exist. There we go. Beautiful. Return none. So is it not none? We need to raise an exception, but in this case no, because we want to create a user instead. So we'll create the user with the username and set to the email, which is all correct, and the password should be passwords. Okay, and we also have a user. Beautiful. The username field is set to email, which is exactly what we want. All right, so far so good. Return the user. There's the user. Create the tokens as well. Let me just like take a peek. Looks like, yeah, looks like the tokens are correct, and just continue. There we go. So if we check the database, we should see, boom, there's the user. We do keep the username still, but we said that the username field is going to be the email property, the email field. Now, the moment of truth. When we want to sign in, we pass an email. This should not say no active account found because we changed the username field. Boom, no active account found. Damn it. What? All for nothing. Okay. We have a debugger on. Let's just go ahead and debug it. So I'm gonna go to where presentation, probably serializers, email serializer right here, right here as well, and then we're gonna get into the validate because I think that's where the issue was. Oh, wait, what? Which serializer? It's token view base. There's validate. Okay, yeah, so I can get inside. That's all. That's all. I need to get inside of this thing now. Again, didn't enter. Should have gone in then. Here. Okay, let's try that again then. Continue, continue. There we go. And now we're gonna insert. What's wrong with you? There we go. Model backend. So now user model. Which one is that? Authentication, info, database, models, user, user. There we go. And the username field is email, right? So what is the username? The username is hello@Nikolov-Lazar. Okay, so we are past this point, but apparently there is something else then. Now we're going to try to get the user by the natural key. There's no user probably. No, there is a user. If user, check passwords, passwords. Okay, let's add some expressions then. User, check password. Pass in passwords. This is false. So it claims that the password doesn't match. The password is passwords. But it's keeping this as like a plain. Oh, you see that? It's keeping this as a plain. Whoa. That is a big no-no. Okay, so we're not done yet. Most likely check passwords. Okay, just get in there. Where is check password? There we go. If you get in there, verify. I'm trying to find the... There we go, get the hasher. There's the hasher. So now the hasher is going to... Yeah, it's gonna hash the passwords. Right? And look what it's going to say. Is correct, is gonna be false. Yeah, because it's going to hash passwords, which is going to be a different value, and it's going to compare it with the naked password that we have in the database. So that's, yeah, that's where we are. That's the issue, and I bet it's going to be in the user here. Yeah. Okay, the password, since we substituted the Django user model, the password isn't hashed anymore. How do we make sure that we don't change the password behavior? Oh, it's not actually this. I got it. I mean, I don't got it. I don't know where we went wrong. Here. This used to be a create user, right? This used to be a create user, and now there's no create user. So from Django, contrib auth models import user. This user has a create user. The abstract user here. This one has a create user field method. Email user. Nope. Need to dig more. Dig in deeper. Probably here. Abstract base user. Yeah, there it is. Where is it? Yeah, it's user manager, create user. Goes here. There's the email, global user model, username, user, make password. You see that? Make password. This is it. So I should probably just... Should I? Salt is set to none. Hasher is default, so I should just like get make passwords when I'm registering the user, right? Seems like it. Wait, what did the robot say? Nothing. Because I didn't ask it. But yeah, in the... Here... If I do this, it's probably going to be not cool. So let's just go ahead and see. I'm gonna run it like this, not with a breakpoint. First, I'm going to remove Okay, which one? Yeah. Uh, this one. db minus data. Okay, docker volume. ls. There we go. Docker compose. Up. Beautiful. It's starting a new database. It's gonna apply all the migrations. And there we go. Okay, so if I refresh now, no users, but we have, oh, we don't have those as well. And server server migrates. There we go. Okay. I feel like the migrations, but I guess it's the image that's old. Okay, so this is good. I'm going to just run server now. Run server. And now I'm gonna try to create the user, sign up with email and password. Should work. No, of course not. Yeah, this is the, yeah, this is probably the same error as the base user. So we need to use the user, but when we use the password, we need to pass in the make password. What is the DB app you're using, and actually what DB? It's a Postgres, and the application is Beekeeper Studio. It's like a free open source DB viewer. It's pretty nice. All right, make password. This one, I believe, should come from where? Make. There we go. From hashers. I don't feel like this is going to be enough, but I don't know. Permission manager, permissions, create user. Normalize username. Yeah, that's the thing that we probably also need to just extend the manager. Yeah. This doesn't feel good, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna say password is password. Create user will keep it, and it's going to say like it doesn't exist because it doesn't have a, you know, we don't have a manager in this case, but we'll ask the robots. I need to extend the base user manager because I use the create user method that comes with it. How can I extend it without necessarily changing anything? All right, so let's see. It says custom user manager, and objects is the custom user manager. See that? Yeah. All right. No, wait, what? CT actually. There we go. I just need to import the base user manager. There it is from the same one. So object is going to be this. And do we have create user? No, we don't. Okay, let's go back then and see how we can substitute the user based on the docs so we can be done with this. There's all the stuff. Abstract base user, check passwords. There's the abstract user. Writing a manager, there we go, there's the manager. Yeah, custom user manager. The prototype of create user should accept a username field plus all the required fields as arguments. Well, yeah, I need this create user thingy. Custom user manager. Oh, it's not the base. It's unknown. Well, models.custom user manager. You should also define a custom manager for your user model. You can install Django's user manager. However, if your user model defines different fields, you'll need to define a custom that extends base. Okay, so it is the base one. But the custom one should extend these two. Okay, so we should be the ones to implement this. Okay, where are we now? Close it. Oh, this is dumb. Okay, come on now. There we go. Okay. Implement the create user and create super user methods. Okay. See how it looks like. Normalize email. Okay. Model, set password, and the create super user. All right, so let's accept these. These are like probably the default ones. So if we go back, this still claims that the user.objects, yeah, I guess it's not the objects. How do we connect the manager? How do we connect the custom manager with the custom user class now? It's definitely not the objects. No, it is the objects, apparently. Objects is custom user manager. Look at that. Well, why does it say that? I guess that's gonna be like the either the types or the LSP. It's either gonna be the types or the LSP. I think it's the types. Yeah, we have objects set to custom user manager. So if we did, I don't know, like self.objects.create self.objects. Oh, of course. Self is the abstract self. Okay, yeah, types. Types. This is gonna work. This is gonna work just fine. All right, let's try it out. Do we have a user right now? We don't, because it failed. So now it should work. There we go. This is the refresh token and the access token. And when we refresh, we should see the user and the password is hashed. All right, there we go. So we're hashing the passwords. We're saving the user. There's the username. There's the email. We can pass other first name, last name, whatever data we want as well. But if I try to log in now, it should just let me. There we go. There we go. Refresh and access. Beautiful. And everything else should work the same. Let me actually grab the refresh token and pass in this one so we can get a new one. There we go. We get a new token every time. If I get the refresh token and just paste it here, we're going to add it to the blacklist. So now we're basically logged out. Okay, so that was the custom user. And now what's craziest is that we have a user profile and we wanted to just reference the user without necessarily creating a new user, but we actually did create a new user. That means with this user, we extend from the abstract user, but we can add anything we want to this user, including these things, these green things, you know, because we do have a custom user now. It's not the user profile. We can literally keep certifications inside and educational activities and social links and whatnot. That's our user. So yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna push to the repo so we can have this, you know, so we can save all of these things. This is good. This is not necessarily, and nothing from the user profile. And of course this one. All right, so custom user plus correct auth. Now we successfully made Django to use our email for login instead of using the username. We still have a username, but yeah, that's it. We still have a username, but we're using the email field. And we're also gonna need to keep the, where was that? The probably application. No, it was actually URLs presentation. Yeah, the email serializer. We should still keep this thing right here because it's for the token serializer thingy. Okay, cool. Cool. If we can try to decide if we want to merge this, but let's actually do that on Wednesday. Yeah, let's actually do this on Wednesday. This stream was only extending Django's user. Let me actually write this down. Only extended Django's user and fixed authentication. So we only extended the Django user and we fixed the authentication, but we didn't do anything else. Because yeah, because I'm a complete noob and I'm pretty slow when it comes to Django. But nevertheless, we do have a user now. So for the next stream, let me actually write that down as well. For next stream, decide if we want to merge user and user profile. We should decide if we want to merge user and user profile. I'm gonna look into, I'm gonna do some thinking today and tomorrow before the next stream. That means, should we lose the user ID because we're already in the user, and just keep these parts right here, like the resume, social links, etc., etc. If we want to do that, that's the idea. And while we have a user, while we even have a user, look at this. Our ID is now 1. We could override the ID as well to use something like the, to use the snowflake ID that we developed. This one. Right, so it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's literally a snowflake ID. That way we'll know when the user was created as well, just by looking at the snowflake ID. Doesn't matter. Even if we do or don't, we don't care. It's still gonna be the same. Just, put a lot of work to our plate. But yeah, we should decide if we want to merge the user profile and basically populate the user table, aside from first name, last name, to also have like the certifications and educational activities and stuff like that. So when we actually work with the users in our application, it's gonna be everything, the authentication and also the data that's comes with it. I'm gonna do some thinking. Let me know in Discord whether we should merge the user profile stuff inside of the user, or we should keep it separate. I have no experience with this, so if you do, let me know. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do next time. If we decide not to merge it, we're just gonna go and continue working on the user profile. Now, since we have an actual user, after registration, we're going to create a user profile immediately and assign it to that user. That's what we should do. If we have a merge it or not, we're going to instantiate a user profile with empty certifications, empty educational activities. Basically, have something that the users can populate with their own data. Cool. All right. So yeah, let's end the stream here. Thanks for watching. The next stream is going to be on Wednesday at the same time. So yeah, see you in 2 days. Bye bye.